Welcome. My name is Jessie Haas. I'm the Senior National Director of the Therapy Animal Program at Pet Partners, and I want to thank you for your interest in learning more about volunteering with your cat. If you're listening to this, you certainly know that cats are special, and we do too. That's why Pet Partners is so pleased to register therapy cats so more of our feline friends can spread the healing power of the human-animal bond in their communities. Up on your screen is where we are headed today in this presentation. First of all, I want to talk about some unique reasons why 2024 is a particularly good time to join Pet Partners with your cat. And then I will discuss what therapy animal volunteerism looks like and the various steps it takes to join Pet Partners with your cat as a therapy animal team. Cat Person, a cat care brand, is teaming up with Pet Partners to increase awareness of the benefits of therapy cats and to help recruit and support more registered therapy cat teams. In fact, Cat Person and Pet Partners are hoping to double the number of therapy cat teams this year. And you might wonder why, and a big reason is because Pet Partners and Cat Person have already completed the most comprehensive study to ever take place on therapy cats. And the findings are clear. Therapy cats make an enormous impact on those they visit, and there is a significant need for more therapy cats. If you're interested in this research, you can download the study for free on our website at petpartners.org, and I think you'll see why we feel so committed to increasing the number of therapy cats. Thanks to a generous donation made by Cat Person, a few discounts are being offered specifically for cat teams. Before I go any further on the details, let me explain something. When you become a Pet Partners volunteer, there are 2 points at which you pay. The first is when you purchase the Therapy Animal Handler course, which is an online course that I'll talk about a little bit more as this presentation goes on. With the code that you see on your screen, CatPerson24, for the first 250 handlers, the course will be offered completely free. Additionally, thanks to more support from Cat Person, a reduced registration fee is being made available to any cat team who registers this year. So it's a wonderful, wonderful time to join us with your cat. So let's talk for a moment about where therapy cats volunteer. Where can you find a therapy cat with their handler? Well, volunteer therapy cat teams are invited into a variety of community facilities like those you see on your screen. Hospitals, schools, and others extend invitations to registered therapy cat teams because they value the positive health and educational outcomes created by the presence of these special animals. Naturally, next, you might be wondering, what do therapy cat teams do when they are in these facilities? I have a few examples of types of visits up on your screen. Social visits are an opportunity for a client, a patient, or a student to simply spend time with you and your cat. I know this sounds casual, but you really can't underestimate the impact cats can have on reducing loneliness and improving mood. Other therapy cat teams volunteer alongside a working professional in occupational or physical therapy. These visits are a little bit more structured. As an example, a therapy cat team may be invited to attend a physical therapy session where a patient is working on fine motor skills, and brushing or petting the cat is one of the methods in the treatment plan. Reading visits, very, very popular. They often occur in libraries or schools, and therapy cat teams are present while students or children are practicing their literacy skills. Animals can certainly be a motivation for someone who is reluctant to practice their reading, or they can be a warm, welcoming, non-judgmental listener for those who may lack confidence with their reading. Therapy cat teams also often visit with the specific intention of reducing stress for an individual or for a group of people. Once again, I'll give you an example. University students absolutely appreciate the opportunity to spend a few moments with a therapy cat as part of a final exam study break. Now that you know where therapy cats go, what they do, let's turn our attention to eligibility requirements and processes involved in joining Pet Partners. Eligibility requirements are up on your screen. I think most are self-explanatory, but I do want to touch just briefly on the last bullet point around cat health. So there are some diseases or conditions that may disqualify a cat from participation. There are also some medications that are not allowed. So if your cat has a chronic health issue or is taking medicine on a regular basis, please check with us before proceeding with your therapy animal team registration. However, very important to note that we have many animals involved in the program who have a disability or an ailment, and many of those do not disqualify the cat. What we look at firstly is the cat pain-free and comfortable visiting? If the answer to those are a firm yes, and the health condition of the cat doesn't present risk to the humans they visit, they can likely register with Pet Partners. Once you've determined your cat is eligible, it is time to consider if the cat has the right temperament, personality, and orientation for successful therapy animal volunteerism. Once again, several traits are listed up on your screen. I think most are self-explanatory. I do want to provide just a little bit more context to some of these. So we all know some cats or pets who absolutely shine at home when they're in a familiar environment, when they're with the people they love, but a therapy cat needs to maintain their social disposition, their comfort, their calmness, even when interacting with strangers or in strange environments. That is a key ingredient for a successful therapy cat. Cats are a very unique species, and there are absolutely some special considerations for therapy cats. So when a therapy cat is visiting in a facility, they must be leashed at all times. So as a handler, when you're considering if this volunteerism is right for you or if you're preparing for it, make sure you create lots and lots of opportunities for your cat to be very comfortable on a leash in a variety of settings. Cats should also be comfortable with carriers. They will likely be transported into and out of facilities in a carrier. Obviously, very often those are used in cars. So once again, practicing with your cat, leaving the house relatively frequently in a carrier helps them get used to the travel to and into facilities. Therapy cats will be carried by their handlers often, either in arms or a basket. If you're considering your cat for this volunteerism, chances are they're already pretty accustomed to being held, but still you can practice the length of time your cat is held, the types of environments in which they are held, moving around, sitting down. Speaking of sitting down, a lot of therapy cats spend time in laps of patients, students, or clients they're visiting. So working on the length of time your cat might be comfortable on a lap, moving them from one lap to another. These are all very important things for a therapy cat to feel good about. A final note on grooming. So a soap bath is a best practice for therapy animal cleanliness. So if your cat enjoys baths, keep doing them. You're going to have to do them as a therapy cat team. However, if your cat cannot handle frequent bathing, a good brushing before a volunteer visit, as well as a thorough wipe with a pet-appropriate cloth would suffice. So once again, I sound like a broken record, but those are all things that you can be doing with more frequency, grooming them so that if you become a team or when you become a team, they are more accustomed to the grooming that they will need to do once they are a therapy cat. We've spent a lot of time focusing on the star of your team, your cat. However, while cats certainly are the attention draw, the handler is equally as important. Remember, you are the member of your team, and you that has the power to decide where you volunteer, how long you volunteer, who you interact with. It's a huge responsibility. As a result, Pet Partners places heavy emphasis on the human end of the leash. So I want to spend just a moment telling you about expectations of handlers. Handlers are first and foremost their pet's advocate. Your primary responsibility when you're in a facility is not to the patient, client, or student. It's not to the facility. Your primary responsibility is to your pet. This is because your attention on your pet creates the safest environment for everyone involved. Secondly, Pet Partners really values and promotes animal well-being. Cats should never be prodded or forced into a situation that is causing high stress. And through your advocacy for their comfort and preferences, you are reducing stress whenever they are visiting or volunteering. Handlers should have a strong bond with their cat to the point where they can anticipate what their cat will and won't like and what will be challenging and exciting for them. Let's talk next about the commitment. What are you signing up for in terms of how much time it will take to become a volunteer and to actually do the volunteering once you're registered? So as a Pet Partners volunteer, it's up to you to decide where and how often you'd like to volunteer. Some teams visit once a week or even twice a week. Other teams only visit once a month or once every other month. It really depends on what works for you and your cat. In just a moment, actually right now, I'm going to show you the infographic on the steps to becoming a volunteer. And I should say, well, this is up on your screen. Some volunteers take just about a month to move through all of this. Much more common for volunteers to take several months to move through all of this. So as you're considering your time commitment, you'll want to consider that there are several steps that you do have to complete before you can volunteer. But once you are a volunteer, you have a lot of control, again, over how often and where you and your cat visit. I won't be going through all of these steps as I wrap up the presentation here. Rather, I'm going to focus on 2 steps: taking the therapy animal handler course and completing the team evaluation together with your cat. Those 2 steps seem to generate the most questions for prospective volunteers, so that's why I'll focus there. Let's start with the handler course. So this must be done before you can attend a team evaluation with your cat. There can absolutely be something magical about interactions between humans and animals. Really magical when you see your cat interacting with somebody in need at a school or a hospital or an airport. However, there's actually a lot that you need to know to successfully achieve that magical moment. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. In the Pet Partners handler training, handlers learn the skills that are needed for visit safety, as well as what to expect on visits, how to manage different types of interactions and things of that nature. You'll also become oriented with the policies and procedures that you'll be responsible for following throughout your time as a volunteer. Typically, the handler training takes somewhere between 5 and 7 hours. You can take part of the course, then take a break, maybe a few days later, go take another portion, take another break. Other people choose to do it all in one sitting. Again, this is a place in the registration journey where you have some control over how you take care of this. The main thing is that it does need to be taken care of before you can evaluate. So let's talk about evaluation next. Team evaluations are individual sessions between the prospective therapy animal team and a licensed Pet Partners evaluator. They typically last about 35 to 45 minutes and resemble a role play of a therapy animal visit. As a team, you'll be tested on your basic skills. So for a cat, this is going to look like their ability to remain calm in your arms, their ability to be placed on a lap and to stay there. Later in the evaluation, you and your cat are also evaluated on what we call aptitude for therapy animal volunteers and through simulations of common scenarios that are encountered during a visit with clients. For example, you and your cat will be approached by someone using a piece of medical equipment, like a walker or wheelchair. You'll also experience situations where multiple people are petting your cat and scenarios where distracting or loud noises are present. These are all things therapy animal teams encounter on visits, and the evaluator is going to want to see how you and your cat navigate through those situations. During the team evaluation, the evaluator will assess how well the handler interprets and manages their animal's behavior and how well the animal responds to the handler. The primary consideration is whether the animal is enjoying interactions and if the handler is managing their animal well. Remember, again, back to our focus on the human end of the leash, the team evaluation involves scoring for both handler and animal. Both members must pass each exercise. We have reached the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for listening to all of this information. I hope it was helpful. Our goal at Pet Partners is always to support you and your cat with benefits like continuing education and insurance that covers you whenever you're visiting at a team. We are so grateful for our volunteers, grateful that they've chosen to collaborate with our organization, and we try to ensure that we give them plenty of benefits in return. Again, I appreciate so much that you've taken the time to learn more about volunteering with your cat. Please reach out to me with any questions, concerns, and interests, and I'll look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you so much.